Hello guys and welcome to Fino Concept. I'm Theo and I'll be taking you to today's course. Today we are going to be looking at the paint bucket tool and the gradient tool. The short key is G. First and foremost, let's begin with the gradient tool. Now the gradient tool, you have a few options here where you could select your foreground color to background color. Here is foreground to transparent. Now what this does is, let's begin with the foreground to transparent. I'll cancel this out. Now if I click and drag from any portion of the image, it's going to create a green foreground color, then it's going to be transparent at the top. So this is what we added, this is what we get. So let me just undo that. Now if I change this to foreground color to background and click on OK, it's going to change from green to white, and this is going to cover up the entire image. So from green to white, it's no more transparent at the top. Let's undo it. If I change it to black to white, the same thing. If you click and drag from any corners, it's not just the bottom, you could just drag from any corners. So basically that's it. The moment you are done, you have a free set of options that you could work with. So let's just say you want to make the bottom darker. I could click and create a new layer. Now with my gradient tool set to foreground to transparent, if I click and drag from here, it's creating the same image as that, but this time around it's not affecting the actual image, it's just a layer. So if you don't know what you're doing, it's better to create a layer and work with it so that it doesn't affect your actual image. So let me just undo right here. The next thing we're going to talk about is the paint bucket. This paint bucket is just like the one you see in Microsoft Paint. So just click on any part, then it's going to create a color over there. So with our move tool, we could move this part away. This is a layer, so it's not actually affecting the main image. So if I click on OK, with the paint bucket, I could set my foreground color to yellow, and if I paint over here, it's going to be yellow. If I paint outside, it's also going to be yellow. So that's just the paint bucket tool. Now we have the blur tool. The blur tool, usually, just as the name implies, the blur tool just blurs out some portion of the image. So if I set my size to 43 pixel and the strength as 100, because I want you guys to see, if I click and drag over the eye, you notice that the eye becomes blurred. So let me undo that. This is the image before and this is the image after using the blur tool on it. Notice the difference? Okay. So you have the sharpen tool, and it does the opposite of what the blur tool does. So let me increase the size to 135 pixel. If I brush over this portion, it sharpens up that portion. So this is the image before, this is the image after using the sharpen tool. Now the smudge tool, what this does is, it's more like a blur tool, but let me say it's more like a liquify tool rather, because if you use that tool, you can change portions of the image. Let me show you how. Let me increase the size to 135 pixel and set the strength to 100. So if I click and drag, you notice that it takes that part of the image away. It's like it's liquefying that part. I think the strength is too much. Usually I use this for smoothing surfaces like the faces and the foreheads and other stuff. So let me change it, the strength to 20%. Now if I brush over this side, you notice that it becomes smoother than it actually was. So I'm just clicking and dragging. This takes away the noise of any parts of the image. So that's what the smudge tool does. And if you stretch it out to it, will be taking that part of the image towards this direction of the place you're using. I think we should talk about these tools in our next video. So see you guys in the next one.